If you came to party, if you came to party, if you came to get down tonight, get down tonight, going live tonight, live from the Next Sound Studio. Trying to party and celebrate life. Tune in the Next Sound Studio tonight. It's live at 8 with the hottest in the state. So tell a friend you wanna take them out of space so they can unplug to a new level with different artists who take it to a new level. And you never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna get. You might get rock or you might get rap. You might get R&B with the boom bap.
And welcome to Live from Next Sound Studio, where each week we are connecting independent music artists with their fans through their lyrics. I am your host, Nequasia. And as always, I am here as your guide through tonight's episode. With no further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce tonight's featured artist. Lish Two-Time is a hip-hop artist that has been in rotation on New York's Hot 97, Shad 45 Sirius XM Radio, and featured on the DJ Self app. Lish has also been published in multiple urban magazines, featured on numerous blogs such as thisis50.com, Vlad TV, jackthriller.com, and has over 50K views on World Star Hip Hop. After performing alongside artists such as Lil Kim, G-Unit's Kid Kid, Fred the Godson, and the drama king DJ K Slay, just to name a few, she has taken a 3-year hiatus from music and is slowly releasing new material as she rebrands herself Fisabilillah, which means one who fights for the cause of Allah. Let's take it to our director to find out a little bit about her in the lyrics to our first performance of the night, Fall in Love.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here I am, Will B. Walker. I'm your director. I'm sitting with the lovely and talented Miss Lish Two-Times. Let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about Lish 2X, Lish 2 times. What should I call you when I'm amongst you? What's up with the two names?
Okay, so I was Lish. And then, well, when I came back out, I was supposed to be Lish 2X, right? You know, Malcolm X, Lish 2X. But DJ Superstar J hosted my first mixtape last year. And the whole mixtape, he goes, Lish 2 times. And I was like, okay. And then more and more, as I would show up to like interviews and stuff like that, they would be like Lish 2 times. Or the people would say 2 times in the audience when I perform. So I'd be like, shucks, I guess I'm Lish 2 times now. And now I put it on my track. So I'd be like, 2 times? So it kind of is something that I feel like the people named me. The people named me Lish 2 times. And I just kind of rolled with it. You know what I mean? Like, where my 2 timers at? Okay.
Well, let's talk about your current project, Covered Girl, and then also some of the songs that you chose to perform here live in Next Sound Studio, starting with Fall in Love. But let's just talk about you rebranding yourself, coming out with this new project as Lish 2 times, and what Covered Girl means.
So Covered Girl, shout out to Blake Magic, my bro. He actually came up with that title because it was a play on words. You know how like easy, breezy, beautiful, covered girl? So Covered Girl, but I was like, nah. Covered Girl, because I'm all covered up or whatever. I would love to say I thought about that on myself, but I didn't. But so it was like, yeah, Covered Girl. I like that because it's just different. It's unique, and it was a play on words, and I thought it was dope.
And it's authentic.
And it was authentic, yeah. And it was decided after the album was done. You know what I mean? It was like the artwork cover was ready, and you know Blake also does all of my artworks. So he just like framed it perfectly, and it just was what it was. And then he had already shot Fall in Love, the video for me, which wasn't supposed to be the original video. It was initially supposed to be just a promo video that he shot for me when I was in Atlanta that kind of turned into being the video because it was just classy and it was sexy. It was the first single I had put out. and the EP wasn't out yet. So I was like, I can't wait until I release this EP. I gotta put a single out now so I can make sure people know I have a project coming and that I'm serious. Because beforehand, all I ever did was like remixes and covers and stuff like that. So now I was like, bow, fall in love. And it was something familiar. You know what it is, yo. What's you know, it was something familiar. It was palatable regardless of where you are in this country. And to this day, it's kind of like, if I do a set, I always include that song because it's the song that leaves people chanting at the end. What it is, yo. What's up? What's up? Like, people want to yell it back at me. You know, when I get off the stage, folks want to be like, what's up? You know, so I love that song so much. And it was my first experience having, like, beats made specifically for me. You know what I mean? So that song will forever be my baby, okay?
Well, here she is performing it live at Next Sound Studio. Check her out. We'll be back.
What's up?
Lish. Yeah. 2 times. Yeah. Real sister all day and tomorrow. You know I'm fine as hell and I ain't gotta spin. This ass ain't for lease or for borrow. They gotta unwrap it if they wanna live. You like my style, you love my scent fragrance. You like my style, you love my smile, good head. On my shoulders, get your mind about the gut. You wanna be with me, then come on, step up, brother. You bring the cream, then you know I got the butter. We get children, cause I'm tryna be their mother. Oh, what it is, yo, oh, what's up? Can you make us just like me fall in love? I like romance, I ain't tryna beg no thug. I want a ring so we can touch the London. What it is, yo, oh, what's up? Can you make us just like me fall in love? I like romance, I ain't tryna beg no thug. I want a ring so we can touch the undercovers. You could be a gentleman or a roughneck. He can open doors, I be his bed and breakfast. Get your money up or it's gonna end fast. Don't be flashy, I don't like peace knowing what I cause if you really got it, you ain't gotta say you got it. Like when you really bout it, you ain't gotta say you bout it. You gotta hear me out cause I ain't with the who and hollin'. I want us headed for the moon. No, we routin', yeah. Oh, what's up? Can you make us just like me fall in love? I like romance, I ain't tryna bag no. I want a ring so we could touch the London. Yeah, what it is, yo. Oh, what's up? Can you make us just like me fall in love? I like romance, I ain't tryna bag no thug. I want a ring so we could touch the London cover. What's up? What's up? Yeah. Oh, what it is, yo. What's up? Yeah. Yo. Oh, what it is, yo. What's up? Can you make it just like me fall in love? I like romance, I ain't tryna bag no thug. I want a ring so we could touch the London. Yeah, what it is, yo. What's up? Can you make it just like me fall in love? I like romance, I ain't tryna bag no thug. I want a ring so we can touch the London covers. Ooh. 2 times.
Okay, sis. I can't wait to see what else she has in store for us. But if you are or know another person that has the talent to be recognized on this platform, please submit your music links to nextsoundstudio.nyc@gmail.com or DM Next Sound Studio on Instagram for consideration. Now, let's take it back to our director as he and Lish discuss her next track, Shame the Devil.
One of my own personal favorites that you performed on the set was Shame the Devil. And in this song, you talk about being woke, having this burden. So let's talk a little bit about being woke and what it means a little bit to have this burden and to be so conscientious, and maybe other people aren't as conscious as you are. And even as we were speaking out a little bit before, like even when it gets to the lyrics of the song, some people may not get it because they're not woke.
Right.
So let's just talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so it is a burden. When you know better, you're supposed to do better, right? And when you don't do better, like those of you who have dug up some of my past things that I've done as far as modeling, straight stunt spreads, like when you know better and you don't do better, things just don't work out for you. Why? Because you're not able to be authentic. Why? Because you know better. You know what I mean? People who are these overnight success doing raunchy things, etc., a lot of times they haven't been exposed to better, right? It is authentic for them to be this way. You know, Shame the Devil is probably one of my favorite songs that I've done ever, and probably will always be, because I speak about, yeah, I'm this girl from Harlem, but I'm also from Maryland. And I speak about, like, I moved every 2 years of my life. I went to 5 different schools in the 6th grade alone. Do you know what that's like, always being the new kid? Do you know what that's like? And in the 5th grade, in the 6th grade, I was in Maryland until October. Then I lasted 2 weeks in school in Spanish Harlem. Then I went to Queens, because that's where my dad was before he went to Long Island. And I was in school there a few months. And then my mom, she was trifling. She picked me up from school early and took me out. And my dad was sitting outside all day waiting for me. And to find out that somebody already came and got me, she didn't answer her phone. And she done moved me across the bridge to Jersey. We don't talk about that time I lived in Jersey. But yes, I went to like mad different schools in the 6th grade alone. So when I talk about like, man, I moved a lot. My ancestors must be Fulani. Like, yeah, the Fula people are the nomadic people of Africa. You know what I mean? They can be found throughout the entire continent because they're nomadic. Or people used to say things like, girl, you move like a gypsy. That's also a term for a person who's just not stable. Mm-hmm. They move a lot. You know what I mean? So I use a lot of things like that because, you know, it interests me. And the average person, you know, especially black people, unfortunately, we are not as, I didn't grow up woke. You know, I grew up Christian. I grew up educated about faith and knowing right from wrong, but I didn't grow up woke. So when I start learning about these things, I can't stop talking about it. It excites me. And people are like, girl. Whew. So yeah, like that song is definitely a song. It's a journey. I take you through being from 1199 Spanish Harlem East Side, ya tu sabe, okay? And then I take you through, you know, being a Maryland girl. But yeah, shame the devil, you know? I want to tell the truth and shame the devil. But if I do, you know what I'm saying? They'll call me a fool or a rebel.
And they do.
Being woke bears its burdens. Yeah, levels. Red pill, blue pill, Matrix perspective. That was one of my favorite movies growing up too. Like I was a little peewee, but I loved the Matrix Reloaded, all of that. So that song was definitely a lot of my childhood in many different ways.
Well, you said it before. It definitely takes you on a journey throughout her whole entire life. It's put into a 3-minute song. Check her out performing it. Here she is with Shame the Devil live, Next Sound Studio. Also, be sure to be checking out all of her music on all music streaming platforms, all right?
That's right. 2 times.
See, I met girl from my childhood that's hella sassy, a little nasty, but she me in the way, cause none of these jokers had me. Eastside, get ass me, 1199 East River, what's happening? Davies, Cam, Jimmy, did that, ooh. Now let's talk about these bodies laying in the streets. Can't do lightings for the homies almost every other week. Gentrified now, maybe we can get help from police. Not the fun, the mother chuckers said no justice, no peace, no pots to hold our peace. So used to being used, we got a trick to get out. If you come from poverty, holidays ain't jolly fella. So that's what you feast on. Stop celebrating them. Said I wanna tell the truth and shame the devil, but if I do, they'll label me a fool or a rebel. Being woke bears its burdens, yeah. Levels, red pill, blue pill, Matrix, Said I wanna tell the truth and shame the devil, but if I do, they'll label me a fool or a rebel. Being woke bears its burdens, yeah. Levels, red pill, blue pill, Matrix, I'm around the way, girl, like my man is Cool J, but I ain't wanna be down. My name ain't Brandy. Sheltered with a conscience, how my mama raised me. Praise the Lord, cause I know these suburbs saved me. Shout out to DMV, AAC to PG. Man, I moved a lot. My ancestors was Fulani. Mama mixed with Gypsy and something. Man, life is really something. Parents try to get a word when really ain't nothing. You didn't know it till you grown, then you learn a little something. Cause them J's and 7G's really ain't about. I met a lot of corny bras, but the real ones brought something, taught something. I'm raw, but these truth and shame the devil. But if I do, can label me a fool or a rebel. Being woke bears his burdens, yeah. Levels, red pill, blue pill, matrix perspective. Tidal, sign.
We hope that you've enjoyed all of tonight's performances so far. Please be sure to check out UBC TV Network in the lifestyle category on the Glued TV app for more exclusive content. Also, be sure to check out all of Lish 2 Time music available on all music streaming platforms. Now, let's take it back to Will and Lish as they discuss her closing track, Finger Lickin'. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to tell somebody, to tell somebody else to meet us back here next week, where we will have another awesome performer performing here live.
So, being that you are a covered girl, we normally don't tend to hear a woman of a certain cloth speaking a little risque, not necessarily vulgar, but just a little risque, and doing some play on words. So let's talk about the play on words and all that involved in finger licking. Let's talk about it a little bit.
So finger licking, I don't really feel like it's risque because I try to speak from a married woman's perspective in a song because, again, you know, we need sexuality. And I think that it's important for people to know that just because I cover up, I need you to understand that I am still a sexual being. It's just I'm a sexual being for my one, for my king. And I think that giving a positive place to channel all that sexual energy that we as women carry is important. You can't just say bottle it all up and put the lid on and don't you dare take it off. That's not realistic. It's not. So I think that it's important that people say, like, okay, she got a little sunshine going on there. But I try to make it clear, like, no, I'm his bride and he became my king, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm his queen, so he get these goodies, yeah. Warm like gravy on some fresh baked biscuits, okay? And yes, and I think that it also shows, it's like a story because people always talk about marriage like it's supposed to be this walk in the park, and when things get rough in their marriage, they run away from it. And I think that it's important to say, nah, this love is finger looking good, ain't no one leaving. Yeah, well, why would you even bring up the idea of someone leaving if there wasn't a form of difficulty there? There's difficulty there, but this love is still finger looking good, okay? Okay?
Here she is performing Finger Licking right here, live Next Sound Studio.
Okay.
Check her out.
Bow.
I'm in love again, y'all. I think that this is him, y'all. Mind is racing, breath is pacing, head is spinning, body dripping. Ain't no sinning, cause we wet it. Yeah. We play hide and go, get it. Yeah, I keep him young. Ain't no quitting, I'm fine. And these juices stay sweet. pH balance. Come on, ladies. I got. Gotta keep it clean. Got it really squeaky. Him is running down. Now my brain is really geeky. And he let us sense of humor, cause I was really silly. But sleeping next to me, cause I'm so dreamy. He said he wanted all my love and I'm bringing. I'm his bride and he became my king, yeah. I'm his queen so he get these goodies, yeah. Warm like gravy on some fresh baked biscuits. He said he needed all my love and he got it. Serve me beef although he knows I'm vegan. So well seasoned, baby, I'm addicted. I love him finger licking good, ain't no one leaving. These fruit chicas need some lessons, keep it on and poppin'. Bust it wide open, it's a part of it. Intimacy, keep your man hella righteous. Old hacks, stay mad cause they need some yeah. I'm L.I. to the dollar sign, covered but I'm mighty fine. Abs intact, waist like what? Hygiene matters, keep your body intact. I got my own bag, put together, we're when I walk in the room, and it's me and it's you, everything is so smooth, extra, yeah. When you with me, I just wanna fulfill your fantasy. Now that's what your bae wanna hear you say. You say you wanted all my love and I'm bringing. I'm his brother, he became my king. Yeah. I'm exclusive, we get these goodies. Yeah, warm like gravy on some fresh Ray biscuits. He said he needed all my love and he got it. Serve me beef although he knows I'm vegan. So well seasoned, baby, I'm addicted. I love you finger licking good, ain't no one leaving. Yeah. Hey, hey. I like $10 sign. Okay.
If you came to party, if you came to party, if you came to get down.
Swing right foot, bring it back. Rewind, yeah, go on like she want make baby. Right, dig out she back body. Let's get high, we don't ever gotta.
If you came to party, if you came to party, if you came to get down tonight, get down tonight, going live.
See, I'm that girl from out your hood that's hella sassy, little nasty, but she ain't know it cause none of these jokers had me. Eastside, it asked me, 1199 East Riverwoods had me. Davies, Cam, Jimmy, Tips at ooh. Now let's talk about these bodies laying in the streets. Can't do lightings for the homies almost every other week. Gentrified now, maybe we can get help from police. Not the fun, the mother chuckers. And no justice, no peace. Don't pasta, hold our people. So used to being used, we got a trick to get our treats. If you come from poverty, holidays ain't jolly fellas. So that's what your feast on. Stop celebrating them heat done. Yeah, I wanna tell the truth and shame the devil, but if I do, they'll label me a fool or a rebel. Being woke bears its burdens, yeah. Levels, red pill, blue pill, matrix perspective. Yeah, I wanna tell the truth and shame